like I said, y'all know I'm going to be a Cowboys for life. We're going to figure out a way for me to be a Cowboy for life. I think, Jay and Steven see it that way too. So I'm going to be real excited, at the end of this year. I hope the fans are going to be excited because I think it's going to be a great offseason. I do think we're going to attack free agency. I think it's going to be a great year.
Hey, Cowboys fan, I've got something interesting to share with you today. You've probably heard of Jerry Jones, right? The guy who's always at the center of the action, whether we're winning, losing, or let's face it, sometimes just making headlines for the wrong reasons. Well, hold on to your hat, because he's just been awarded the title of Bum Steer of the Year by Texas Monthly. Yes, you heard that right. Jerry Jones, the man who's been synonymous with the Dallas Cowboys for decades, has earned a new honor for 2024. Now, this isn't just some casual recognition. Bum Steer of the Year is a title that carries some weight, and it's awarded to individuals who make moves that leave people scratching their heads. In Texas, it's kind of a big deal. So, you might be wondering, why Jerry? What did he do to deserve this award? Before we dive into it, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you believe Jerry's actions this year earned him this title, or is it just more media? Drama trying to get clicks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to know what you think. But don't go anywhere yet, because in the next part, we'll break down Jerry's controversial year and why this Bum Steer title might not be all that surprising. Stay tuned. Alright, let's dive into it. Jerry Jones being named Bum Steer of the Year. What led to this? It all starts with a series of decisions, comments, and moves that have raised eyebrows all around the NFL and beyond. For starters, when we talk about Jerry Jones, you can't help but think about his control over the Cowboys. He's not just the owner. He's involved in every aspect of the team. That's his style. But lately, his decisions have left fans like us scratching our heads. For example, the Dak Prescott situation. You and I both know how much the Cowboys' QB drama has been a roller coaster this year. There's the constant speculation about Dak's future, especially when the Cowboys' performance doesn't always live up to expectations. On top of that, Jerry's refusal to make some tough calls when it comes to coaching, like holding Mike McCarthy accountable, has made fans wonder if he's too emotionally invested to make the right choices. Then there's the trade rumors around players like Trey Lance, which have left the fanbase divided. The list goes on and on, right? But here's the kicker. Jerry's management style sometimes seems to put the spotlight on him instead of the team. So, when things go south, it's no surprise that his leadership is called into question. Now, I'm really curious, what do you think? Has Jerry's leadership hurt the Cowboys' chance of success, or do you think he's just misunderstood? Cast your vote in the poll above, or drop a comment with your thoughts. I want to know where you stand on this. Next up, we're going to talk about how Jerry's actions have directly affected the team. So, stick with me, because it's only getting more interesting from here. We've touched on Jerry Jones' decisions, but now let's talk about how they've actually impacted the Dallas Cowboys. His approach, more hands-on than most owners in the league, has been both a blessing and a curse. There's no denying that Jerry has turned the Cowboys into one of the most recognizable and valuable teams in sports. But sometimes, his influence seems to hold the team back rather than push them forward. Let's start with the obvious one, the coaching situation. We all know Jerry's loyal to his people. But is that loyalty hurting the Cowboys? Mike McCarthy, while a Super Bowl winning coach, has come under fire for not getting the best out of the team, especially when it comes to big games. Yet, Jerry refuses to make a move. It's almost like the team is stuck in neutral, and fans like you and me are left waiting for something to change, but it doesn't stop there. Jerry's been known to take risks like the Trey Lance trade, which might have been a good move if handled differently. Instead of letting Lance develop and find his place, the Cowboys seem to have him on the sidelines, causing confusion among the fans. We've seen this happen before, big decisions that end up leaving us wondering what could have been. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jerry's decisions have hurt the Cowboys, or is he just trying to build a championship team in his own way? Drop your thoughts in the comments or take the poll up top. Your opinion matters here. We're not done yet, though. Coming up next, we'll take a closer look at how Jerry's decisions might influence the Cowboys' future, so don't go anywhere. So, what's Jerry Jones' vision for the future of the Dallas Cowboys? Well, if we look at his track record, it's clear that he wants the team to win a Super Bowl, no question about it. But his methods, that's where things get tricky. Jerry isn't just trying to build a competitive team, he's building a legacy. And in doing so, sometimes it feels like his focus is more on the brand, the spectacle, and the business side of things rather than putting the best possible product on the field. Take the signing of big-name players over the years. We've seen it all: high-profile acquisitions that, on paper, look great, but don't always deliver when it counts. Jerry's constantly chasing that next star, but does that actually help the team win? Or is it just a marketing move to keep the Cowboys in the headlines? At the same time, Jerry is dealing with the reality that the NFL is more competitive than ever. The NFC East is tough, and teams like the Eagles and the Giants aren't waiting around. Meanwhile, the Cowboys remain in a state of flux where success is often just out of reach. Jerry's desire for the Cowboys to be both a championship contender and a global brand creates a bit of a conflict, don't you think? But what does that mean for the future of the team? Will Jerry's leadership lead to long-awaited success, or will we continue to fall short year after year? Now, I want you to share your thoughts with me. Do you think Jerry can finally get it right, or are we stuck in this cycle of almost their seasons? Cast your vote in the poll, and let's talk about it in the comments. Stick around, because in the final chapter, we'll take a look at whether Jerry's time as owner is coming to an end. You won't want to miss this. Alright, here's the big question. Could Jerry Jones be nearing the end of his time as owner of the Dallas Cowboys? We've seen a lot of speculation recently, especially with his growing age and the way his management decisions have been called into question. For the first time in a while, it feels like the winds are changing, and fans, maybe even Jerry himself, are starting to wonder if it's time to hand over the reins. For decades, Jerry has been the face of the Cowboys, but the reality is, he's no longer the young, aggressive businessman he once was. Is his age starting to catch up with him? And more importantly, can he still make the bold, sometimes controversial decisions needed to push this team to a Super Bowl? Let's be real, when Jerry took over the team in 1989, he transformed the Cowboys into a global brand. But has he lost touch with the current NFL landscape? The game has evolved, and the Cowboys' management approach may need a refresh if we want to keep up with the competition. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jerry should pass on the torch to someone else, or do you believe he still has what it takes to lead the team to another championship? Vote in the poll, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Either way, this offseason could be a turning point. Will Jerry finally make the necessary changes to bring the Cowboys back to greatness? Or will we continue to be stuck in the same frustrating cycle?